Today's lesson is going to talk about subtracting integers. First, we're going to do a quick review over when a number and its opposite. So if you pick a number, any number, let's say 5, and the opposite, and we add them together, so 5 plus negative 5, it's always going to come out to be 0. That's the additive inverse. Okay, for subtraction. So here's your new rule for subtraction, which is something that's probably new to you. So I'm going to go over it. When we have double negatives, they become positive, which means we can whoosh it. We're going to then follow the integer rules that we talked about on the last video or yesterday. So when I say that, when we whoosh it, so this first problem here, I have 6 minus a negative 7. You can whoosh over a parenthesis. You cannot whoosh over a number. So since there's a parenthesis here, I can whoosh over it. I'm going to whoosh. So this actually becomes 6 plus 7, or 6 plus 7, which is 13. Because really what happens if you start at 6 on the number line, and then you subtract, it says to go left on the number line, but the negative tells you to turn around and go right on the number line 7. So we end up at 13. Okay, next. This one has several negatives in it. So as we look at it, we can whoosh this one, but we can only whoosh it in one spot. I cannot whoosh over the 3. I can only whoosh over the parentheses. So this ends up negative 3, and I tend to rewrite them just so they look cleaner. Negative 3 plus plus, which is only 1 plus 8. Since these are different signs, same rules apply as yesterday. So 8 minus 3, which is 5. The bigger number gets a sign, so it's positive 5 here. Okay. Next. This is where I want to show you, when you have a minus and negative, you can whoosh them. You cannot do this. You cannot whoosh over that 9. That's a no-no. You cannot do that. Cannot whoosh over a number. You can only whoosh over parentheses, or if there's no parentheses right next to each other. So this one is going to be negative 9 minus 11. Okay, so now I have a negative 9 and I have a negative 11. So since they are the same sign, they both have a minus in front of them, or a negative. I'm going to go 9 plus 11, which is 20. Since I owe 9 and I owe 11, I now owe 20. Okay. I'm going to do a few more. All right, same idea here. Negative 5 and a negative 9. A minus and a negative are interchangeable. So if I'm at negative 5 on the number line, I'm going to go left 9. So it's going to make me more negative. If I owe $5 and I take away $9, I'm at 14, but since they're both negative, it's going to be negative. Here I can whoosh over the parentheses. So this becomes 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. Feel free to pause if I go too fast. Here again, I can whoosh over those parentheses. This becomes negative 2 plus 10. Again, I like to rewrite it personally just so it looks cleaner and I get the problem correct here as I work. So negative 2 plus 10, they're different signs. So I'm going to do 10 minus 2, which is 8. Bigger number gets the sign, so it's a positive 8. Okay. That's where you're at so far. So I'm going to do a few more with you. I'm going to ask you to pause and do the rest of them and then check. Okay, so let's do a few more together. So 9 minus 6 is 3. Okay, that's one from many, many years ago you learned how to do. No change there. 7 minus a negative 3, I can whoosh over the parentheses. So it becomes 7 plus 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. Next one, negative 11 minus 5. So negative 11 and negative 5 are same sign. So I go 11 plus 5, which is 16. Since they're both negative, my answer is negative. Okay, you can use the number line if that does help you. Okay, we're going to whoosh over our parentheses here, so it becomes negative 6 plus 8. They have different signs, so it's 8 minus 6, which is 2. Since the 8's bigger, it's a positive 2. So this is what I want you to do. Excuse me. I want you to pause it. You have these 4 problems to help you. You do have, same as before, the sum at the bottom that you can check. Okay, I want you to try the 12 other problems there, as many as possible. If you get stuck, skip it and go to the next problem, and then you're going to resume it, and I will have all the answers there for you. But please, please, please try it yourself first. All right, there you go. You can go ahead and pause this and check all of your answers. I did check my answers that they summed to the bottom numbers. I checked those already to make sure everything was correct. If you have any questions, bring them to us, but feel free to pause here if you need to check. Okay, next we're going to look at some of these problems here. Okay, and this is kind of mixing between the two, and it depends on how you read it, how you can write it. So we'll talk about that. First, the helium atom had 2 protons and 2 electrons. Okay, if we remember back to science, protons were positive, electrons were negative. And you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong on that. So I have 2 protons plus I have 2 electrons. Those are negative. So I have 2 plus negative 2, which is 0. Treasure map said to take 10 steps north, so 10, then 8 steps south. So I'm going to turn around, I'm going to go south. So it ends up 2. Now this is one where you could have done 10 plus a negative 8. That's the exact same problem. All right, a lot of the ones we like to quiz you on and do require or talk about money, because that's what you guys are probably most comfortable with, and it's most real worlds. So if Jen earned $6 and then she spent $5 on a toy, okay, she only had $1 left. All right, next, the elevator started on the 8th floor. It went up 5 floors, and then it went down 2 floors. Okay, 8 plus 5 is 13, minus 2 is 11. All right. So you should have an answer bank, that purple sheets. I believe they're all purple for all classes. And they may be a different color depending on the teacher you have. So make sure you check your answer bank as you're working through these. For the most part, I think they went pretty well. This one had a lot of questions, so the home team scored a goal. So they scored a goal, then they answered with a goal. Okay, so then they answered with another goal. Other than that, just watch your vocabulary and make sure that you follow those words like fell and rose, add and drop, took and deposit. If you have any questions, just let us know on those. All right, so you should have that page done, and now this page is currently assigned. So you should be able to finish this page. Again, there's an answer bank for you. Make sure you check those answers with that answer bank.